Hello and welcome to today's mini masterclass. Today you will learn how to take a client booking and how to ask for a fee. Now, this is one of the biggest challenges that so many new therapists face. And believe it or not, it can even be a struggle for the many counsellors and psychotherapists who choose to learn solutions-focused hypnotherapy and mind coaching with me. So today I'm going to share with you the process that I have developed from over 20 years of private practice, and I promise it's going to be very easy for you to learn and very easy for you to implement. So let's get started. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do is to develop a pricing strategy. Do your research. Find out how much other coaches and therapists are charging in your area. And then decide on where you're going to position yourself. Are you going to position yourself at the top end of the market or at the bottom end of the market? And to help with that decision-making process, ask yourself, do you offer any extras that they don't? Maybe you have additional resources such as MP3s or videos, or perhaps like my students and graduates, you might want to offer mind coaching and online therapy to support your clients. So develop your pricing strategy, and once you have decided on your rate, your fees, your hourly rate, well then my advice to you is to stick to it. Become known in your local area as the person who has a very fair and honest pricing structure. And then there are a few mindset shifts that you probably need to make. And from my experience, mindset shift number 1 is a big one. Now, and you may have deep-seated beliefs about your self-worth. Or maybe you've inherited poverty messages that originated in your childhood. And if you do, then inner child work done correctly will help update them. And if you decide to train with me, guess what? We will do that inner child work when we meet in class. Okay, mindset shift number 2. This is another big one. I want you to take this on board. It is not your fault. Most coaches and therapists have never learned how to actually ask for a fee in a way that feels authentic. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. You're going to learn how to ask for a fee in a way that feels authentic to you. And mindset shift number 3 is, if you are a solution-focused coach and therapist, and if you are consistently helping people to achieve their goals, then the work that you do is priceless. I'm going to say it again. If you are consistently helping people achieve their goals, then the work that you do is priceless. You know it because your clients tell you this all the time. And mindset shift number 4. You deserve to be paid a fair fee for the great work that you do. Now, maybe nobody's told you this before, so I'm going to say it again. You deserve to be paid a fair fee for the great work that you do. And let me prove it to you. An electrician asks for a fee. Your car mechanic, well, they certainly ask for a fee. A beauty therapist asks for a fee. A personal fitness trainer asks for a fee. And they ask for a fee because they give you their time, their effort, and their expertise in return for their service. And you don't mind paying because you're getting value for money. And you're like an electrician because you rewire people's neural networks. You're like your local mechanic because you're installing not new engines and timing belts, but you're installing new habits and behaviors. And you're also like your local beauty therapist. You make people look good on the outside and you make them feel good on the inside. And you're also like your local personal fitness trainer because you energize and you motivate your clients to be the best version of themselves. So guess what? Read what it says on the screen, change the first word from you to I, and shout it out inside your mind, because you deserve to be paid a fair fee for the great work that you do. And mindset shift number 5 is really simple. But if you want to be the best, and if you want to give your best to your clients, well, guess what? You need to have the best, because there's no point showing up where you're tired, you're exhausted, you're drained, or you're worried about money and finances and making ends meet. So to be the best and to give your best, you need to have the best. So you're probably saying, Susan, so how do I actually take a booking and ask for a fee? Well, it's really quite simple. I've broken it down into 6 steps. Step number 1, your phone rings out of the blue and there's somebody on the phone saying to you, I was wondering, could I book a session? I'd be interested. I have a fear of flying and I'm going away in a couple of weeks. So if you're anything like me and it's your day off or you're busy doing other stuff, this might take you off guard because you're just not expecting a client to be calling you in this moment in time. Maybe you're in the middle of washing the dishes, maybe you're driving the car, maybe you're down at the supermarket, maybe you're picking up the kids. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but sometimes we're just not ready to take the call. We're not in our therapist mindset. If that happens, all you have to do is be enthusiastic and say, yes, absolutely, I would love to help. The only thing is, I'm in the middle of something right now. Would it be okay if I called you back in a few minutes? That buys you some time to get your thoughts together, to get into your therapy mindset, and to be ready to take the call in a professional way. So when you're back on the phone speaking to this person, you can then ask them for a little more detail so that you get the context of what it is that they're looking to achieve. With that information then, you can explain what it is that you do. So let's dig a little deeper into that one. So here's something that I say. It's a version of this anyway. What I'll say is, so if you're interested in overcoming your fear of flying, I want you to know that hypnotherapy is one of the most effective ways to help people overcome phobias. Now, by accessing the subconscious mind, together we can remove that faulty programming that is causing you to feel stressed, anxious and worried and downright terrified every time you fly. Then, what we'll do is we will update your beliefs so that you can feel calm, relaxed and confident every time that you take a flight. How does this sound? So that's how we explain what you do. The next thing you want to do is you get a little bit of feedback. They'll probably say to you something like, yeah, that sounds great. So you owe it then as a duty of care and as, to be transparent, to explain the sessions and the pricing structure you have. So I say something like this. That's great. I'm delighted you're interested. Now, generally speaking, most of my clients need between 3 and 5 sessions in order to get lasting results. I charge €100 per hour and the first session will last 1.5 hours, so it will cost €150. Now all other sessions will last for an hour if you need them and you can pay as you go. Now before you make a decision, I want you to know that if I'm the right therapist for you, I promise that you'll notice a big difference straight away. So how does that sound? So that's the general script that I would use. And you're probably asking yourself, well, Susan, that sounds like a bit of a big promise. that you're making. And the reason that I can make that big promise, and the reason why my students and my graduates can be confident in our promise, is because we offer solutions-focused therapy. Now, not only do we use techniques that have been scientifically proven to be effective from a whole wide range of therapies, such as REBT, NLP, CBT, positive psychology, etc., etc., but in addition to that, we also find a way to test and to make sure our clients are happy with the outcome from every session of hypnotherapy. And this is something we do that's different from most other forms of therapy, because at the end of the session, we will somehow manufacture a way to test and make sure our clients have the outcome that they want. And of course, I can't go and take my client on a flight somewhere, but I can certainly expose them to some of the triggers that are associated with flying, and I can certainly make sure that they're able to tap in to that feeling of calmness, confidence and relaxation. And if for any reason they begin to feel any anxiety beginning to bubble up, I can make sure that they're able to release those feelings and get themselves back into that calmness, relaxation and confidence. So that's why we can be confident in our promise when we're taking a booking. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, but Susan, what if it all goes wrong? And you know, occasionally it does. Occasionally a client might bring up a fear again. They might bring up some anxiety, and that's okay too. It's better it comes up when they're still with us, so that we can make sure that our clients have the tools that they need and the interventions that will work in the moment before they leave, before the session ends. So there we go. All right, so let's jump back here for a moment to mindset shift number 4. Now, after you've explained your pricing, always make the ask. Remember, your client, your potential client, is calling up and they're looking for a professional service. They're expecting you to take the lead. And taking the lead is really simple. You're not being salesy, you're not being pushy, you're simply making the ask. Would you like to book? That moves the conversation on. And it's the right thing to say, would you like to book? Now, one of 3 things will happen, so let's get you ready for those 3 potential outcomes. Your client will say, yes, sounds great. Or your client will say, no. No with a full stop, just a no. In which case, you'll say to your client, your potential client, or well, they're not going to be a potential client if they said no, you can say, well, that's okay, but if for any reason you do change your mind, please know that I'm here to help and I would be delighted to do so. So that's how you can wrap up a situation where a client might say no. But the truth of the matter is they're either going to say yes or they're going to say maybe. And if they say maybe, at this stage, you're going to have to decide, are you going to offer a sliding scale? Now, a lot of coaches and therapists and psychotherapists have a sliding scale so that they're able to make sure that their prices match the income levels of different groups of clients. And if you're going to have a sliding scale, well, that's okay too. Now, if your client says maybe, and they're saying to you, well, you see, there's another therapist down the road and they only charge €40. So to be honest, you seem a little too expensive. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I never speak badly about another therapist. So I'll always say something like, you know, in cases like this, the best thing to do is to go with your gut feeling. And you see, the reason that I charge €100 per hour is because I'm a solutions-focused therapist. And as I said already, if I'm the right therapist for you, there'll be a noticeable difference straight away, and you'll feel much better much more confident about your ability to get on that flight and to visit your sister in Australia, etc., etc. So that's the way that I get around that maybe. And I'll also say to my clients, you don't have to rush into anything right now. If you want, I can send you out some resources so you get a sense of the kind of therapist I am and the work that I do. In fact, I have a great free confidence session that I think that you would enjoy, and I can send that over to you on WhatsApp so you can try before you buy. So at this stage, all that remains is for you to open your appointment diary and to let your client know when you are available and to book them in. So let's do a recap of what we've covered today. So the first thing to do is to develop a pricing strategy and then work on your beliefs. If you have issues around money, if you have issues around poverty, if you sabotage yourself in any way, it's really important that you're able to separate your self-worth from the net worth of your services. Remember that it's not your fault because up until now you probably never learned how to ask for a fee. Remember that the work that you do is priceless. Your clients will confirm that for you, and also that you deserve to be paid for the work that you do. And above all, remember that to be the best and to give your best, you need to have the best, because in that way you can show up with the energy, the enthusiasm and the openness you need to be an amazing coach and therapist. So all that remains is for me to say goodbye, and that I hope I'll get to see you in a classroom soon.